I've got a budget of £9,000 to go out and find the best crashed, damaged, salvaged car I can find, buy it and fix it within that £9,000 budget and give it to a subscriber for free. And that is because I did a car competition where the winner can choose their own crash damaged car within a budget, and I buy it, fix it, and then just hand it over to them. And that lucky winner for this competition was Stuart. Now, initially, Stuart wanted an X5, and after going backwards and forwards quite a few times, looking at a few various different types of X5, we decided that it was going to be tough to get one and fix it within that £9,000 budget. So then we turned our attention to a Golf, a nice manual, Mark 6 maybe, Mark 7 GTI, and again, yeah, they were looking good, but then I come across a Mark 7 Golf R. And from the pictures, it looked in really good condition. It doesn't look like it's been crashed. It is a category M, but it looks like it's a mechanical, which is good for our budget because it means worst case, probably a new engine. And on the day of bidding, it was only at £2,500 still, and I ended up winning it for £3,300 plus fees, which is, I thought, a really good deal considering it doesn't look to be crashed. So I let Stuart know the good news, and I got him down to diagnose it. So if we're going to introduce Stuart, do you want to come and have a look at your new Golf Mark 7 R? How are we doing?
Very well, Dean. Thank you very much for this.
No problem, no problem. So, this is your new Golf Mark 7 5-door manual, and we actually did really well picking this up because you originally wanted an X5,
yeah.
X5, didn't you? But we did have a £9,000 budget, and it was quite difficult to find the right car under budget and then have enough scope to pay to fix it. Yeah. So then we kind of settled on a Mark 7 kind of GTI you were looking at, weren't you?
Yes.
And I was looking at a few Mark 6s because I thought £9,000 to buy, fix, it's going to be quite tight. But then I was like, well, Mark 7, we'll have a look at Mark 7. And in the end, I found a Mark 7 Golf R that come up, and it was
amazing.
It was really cheap, under £4,000. It was all in, including the fees, and it's a category N car, but as you can see, there's no damage on it. I think it's just mechanical. So it's a really clean car. And yeah, if you want to have a look around it, I know it's dirty. It's been parked here a couple of months.
That'll have the children in, so that'll be dirty anyhow.
Starting to get a little bit of mould, and we've got a sandwich packet, but as I say, I'd like to leave them completely untouched, so so you can have a look at the car, have a look around it, and we have a blank canvas to start with. But yeah, so as I said, no damage on it. It looks quite clean inside. Battery's good, look, which makes a change for me. It's dirty, manual, 5-door. I think quite basic spec, in red. But it's a Golf R, so it's going to have heated seats and stuff like that, standard anyway. And yeah, the main reason I think we're going to have a cheap car, or we've got a cheap car, is this. Now, I don't know that it's the reason it's cheap, but when I bought it on auction, it just says non-runner, engine doesn't start. So it's up to us now to find out why it doesn't start, and hopefully it won't cost too much to fix. So a little bit more about the car. It's a 5-door Golf Mark 7 manual, 300 PS. It's done 75,000 miles, and it is a category N car, but it hasn't been damaged now or in its past. So if it's mechanical is the reason it's been written off, I hate it when they do that because they shouldn't be, but it is what it is. But the rest of the car, although it's a bit dirty, it does look really clean. It's got Conti Sport Contact 5 tyres all round, which is a good indication that cars have been well looked after. That's how I judge it usually. No damage on the interior. So you might have heard a bit of wind noise there, and we didn't realise, but Stuart's muff on his microphone fell off, and it was quite a windy day that day, so therefore there was quite a lot of wind noise going forward. So I'm just going to have to chop and change in input parts where the wind isn't too strong, so I do apologise for that. So before we go and try and start the car, I'm just going to make sure there's no obvious reasons to not try and start it, i.e. the sump's missing or there's an obvious hole in the block. And I've employed Stuart's son, Ray, to jack the car up so I can just have a quick look. I'll do one more preliminary thing. I'll just try and turn it over with a socket. Or do we just start it?
Just start.
Yeah, just start it. There we go. It's your car. Do you want to do the honours?
No, you go for me.
You sure?
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Is that because you're going to blame me if it breaks? Yeah. I'll be amazed if this starts. Generally, this has been one of the best. I say that. Best, like. That doesn't sound good. Sounds over though. Yep, I've jumped it, so if you want to just turn it over for me, please. Oh. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That does sound like cam chain, actually. There's a really like metallic noise from the cam chain area, and the whole thing just didn't sound great. So, engine, as we thought, is pretty knackered.
Trouble.
I only did a compression, we only did a compression test on cylinder 1 because it only showed 3 bar and it should be at least 10, more like 12. And the engine doesn't sound great, as you heard anyway. So it does need to be stripped and investigated more, and that is where you're going to leave it in my capable, I think, hands.
Thank you very much.
No problem. And the next time you're going to see this car, it's going to be, engine's either going to be replaced or fully rebuilt, and it will be driving. And the next time you come, you'll be driving it home.
Oh, thank you very much.
So leave it with me. We'll investigate further. I think we're just going to do a 1 video on this, so it's just going to link straight into me getting the car in and stripping the engine down. But for now, Stuart, I bid you farewell.
Thank you very much.
And you, Ray, as well. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you in X amount of days.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Dean.
No problem. Thank you for entering the competition to win it in the first place.
Thank you very much. It's amazing.
No problem. And yeah, we'll see you soon. So with Stuart now gone, it was time to get the car into the workshop to diagnose it properly. So now I'm at a stage where I'm actually going to plug an OBD reader in, read the codes just to see if there's anything obvious before we strip down any further. And to do that, I have teamed up with OBD11 in this video, and we're going to use that little dongle here that easily just plugs into the OBD port and app on your phone, and we can check all the live codes, and there's loads of other things we can do too. So first of all, let's just plug it in, turn the ignition on, and we'll get the app up. So once you've plugged it in, we're going to click on engine because that's what I'm concerned about. I don't think I'm going to find any electrical faults because it's a mechanical malfunction. And as we can see, look, there's loads of faults for stuff that I've already unplugged, like all this. The only one there is a starter motor, and it says it's blocked. I know it's not blocked because I've already turned the engine over. So as I predicted, there's nothing I'm going to find in codes. But while we're here, something else that OBD11 can do is alterations and all adaptions. And with adaptions, you could do things like, you can see where both indicators here are flashing at the same time. You can change it up so it's sweeping, well, kind of individually flashing if you want. Change it to on, activate. And now we go, look, alternate flashing indicators if you want. There's also stuff you can do like SFD unlocks. We've got an official license with Volkswagen, BMW, Toyota, and in the USA, Ford. And there's far more things it can do as well, far too much for me to mention, but if you click the link in the description, you can find out more information, 25% discount too, which is the biggest discount they've ever done, and that ends on the 29th of August. Failing that, you can use my discount code Salvage too. So a massive thanks to OBD11 for sponsoring today's video. Now, as I'm sure I've just mentioned in the time lapse, the wind noise just ruined pretty much all of what you've just watched. Luckily, I haven't actually done any diagnosing at all. The only thing I did was just take off the cam chain cover just to see if the cam chain was broken, because that's kind of what it sounded like, or it's just really loose. But it's really tight. It seems fine. So now that I know the cam chain's okay, I'm now going to do a compression test. I've just started here. I've got all the spark plugs out, so I'm going to start with cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do a compression test. I'm pretty confident that the engine's got to come out anyway, but I thought we'll just start there. Well, cylinder 1 isn't on the bottom of my scale. My scale starts at 3 bar, and it's just under that, so it's about 2.8 bar. So that's obviously not great. Oh no, cylinder 2's better. Just under 6 bar. 5.5 bar. 0 bar. So we've got 2.8 bar, just under 6 bar, 5.5 bar, and 0 bar. None of which are any good, and it doesn't sound like they're any good either. So I might see if I can get a Boroscope and just have a little look down there. But I don't know, it almost seems like the timing's well off. Like it's slipped a couple of teeth. Well, somehow I managed to cock up getting footage of the oil. I'm not doing very good today, am I? Wind noise, cock up of bloody footage. Anyway, I've drained the oil. It's clean. I couldn't see any metal flakes coming out of it when it was pouring in here, and I've just put a sample through this really fine gauze, and there is no metal at all whatsoever. In fact, I'm just going to try and show you. Just going to risk it for a biscuit. I mean, it's hard to really tell actually because most of my grubby mitts have been over the outside of it, so it's making it look dirty, but it's clean. Now, I'm sure you can see this, but this is a brand new sump. Brand new. I mean, considering how clean this is, and how clean the oil is in the filter, I'd say it's done next to no miles since this was fitted. Now, because the engine oil is clean, the oil filter's clean, there's been some work done on this car recently, and the fact that we've got such low compression on all of the cylinders and two in particular, and it sounds awful, it doesn't sound like it should turning over with... I'm just querying the timing. And I think it's the first thing I'm going to look at. Well, not the first thing, because I've obviously looked at other stuff already. It's the next thing. So the timing is the next thing. It's one of those days. Oh, I'm having a shocker today. Battery's flat. My other battery's flat as well. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Do you know what the funny thing is? I've just realised I didn't have a flat battery at all. I just had my gun on setting 1, which is weak.
Now I need to remove the washer jet bottle because it's right in the way of the crank pulley, and I need that to be able to turn the engine over to get it into TDC so I can check the timing is correct or wrong.
So instead of paying VW software, I've actually probably done it on a previous video myself, but I've got the crank in the correct position. I'll put a picture up now. We now need to measure the distance between the centre of the cam bridge here and our notch in our intake camshaft. And that's got to be between 61 and 64 millimeters. I reckon that's about bang on there. And there we go, look, 62.3 millimeters. So that intake is fine. And now to measure the exhaust, we don't actually measure from the notch to the center. We actually measure from the notch to the intake notch. So it would be a much bigger measurement. So this measurement's got to be between 124 mil and 126, as per humble mechanic. Shout out. Right. So we'll do the same thing again in the notch, and it's 127. So it's not. Yeah, it's 100. It's 127. So that should be fine. So it looks like the timing's okay. Right, so I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's wrong with the engine now, and to do that I've bought this cool little device here. So if we just turn it on, this is like a Boroscope, but it's one that can actually be controlled by the end, and if I put it here, look, I can control the end, which means I can have a good look around the cylinder and also look back at the valves as well. It's a great little tool. Hopefully you can see. Right, so if we go into the bore, we can obviously move about. And if you look at the cylinder walls, see how that all really badly scored, especially down that side, look. And if we go down, we can, there we go as well. Look, if we just look at the other side, you can see how bad it's scored. But if we look back, we can look back at the valves, and the valves, I have had a look at all the valves are good. But if you look at the top left-hand corner of my screen, you can see where the bore's been all just scratched and there, look, and horrible. And that is the same on you can see it there a bit better as well. Look, on the left hand side, look, it's just all completely gone. So I reckon the rings have all disintegrated. So let's just put it back out. You can see there, look, just completely ruined the bores, and that is like that on all four. Definitely the worst day to be wearing a white t-shirt, but Right, so I'm just going to take the bearing caps off cylinder 2 and 3 because I can access them through these holes. I won't be able to get number 1 or number 4, but number 2 and 3 will give us a good indication. There we go, there's one. So number 2, and there is scoring. I'm going to show you in a minute. There is some scoring on the crank. Doesn't look that bad though.
Now, annoyingly, I didn't get any pictures for some reason of the bearings for cylinders 2 and 3, but they were completely gone, heat damaged, no doubt. So what I think's actually happened is person driving this car, driving along, they've hit something on the sump, it's plastic, it's cracked, it's lost all its oil, they've continued to drive, engine's overheated, melted everything, piston rings have gone, and the engine has stopped working. Now, it's gone into a Volkswagen dealer or a specialist, and for some reason, they didn't do a simple compression test, and instead, it looks like they fitted a new oil pump, changed the oil, put a new oil filter in, and then tried to start it, whilst also spending a lot of money on a new sump as well. It hasn't worked, and then it's obviously gone off to Copart. So now we need to price up the cost to rebuild this engine, or replace it. So here we've got everything I think we'll need to rebuild this engine, and all the prices of them here as well. So we've got main bearings. We've got main bearings, big end bearings, head gasket, piston and rings. Now, I've allowed for 4 new pistons and rings, purely because we know the rings are definitely damaged. Chances are the pistons are going to be damaged as well. And also, I don't know if you'd want to take the risk of putting those pistons back in, even if they didn't look damaged, with the amount of abuse they've got with the rings obviously breaking up. So, piston and rings are the most expensive bit at 1,200 quid. Oil cooler, because obviously the swarf has gone all around the engine, so ideally you want to put a new pump and cooler on it. Timing kit, head block and work, so getting the head sent away to be skimmed, pressure tested, crack tested, and also the block then cleaned out as well, get rid of all the debris. Miscellaneous, so that's like all the oil seals, coolant seals, and anything else I've missed off the list. And you've got main seals, rear main seal, and the front crank seal as well. And also we need a new block. Now, I found a second-hand block on eBay for £600. Now, if we add all that up, it comes to 3,895. And the problem is that's a lot of money, and that is a lot more money than it would be just to buy a used engine. So I went on eBay, and there's loads of engines sort of ranging on there between 2.5 grand from, don't know if you'd trust the seller, cash only, that sort of thing, up to 4 grand for a exchange engine, as long as yours is serviceable, which mine isn't because the block's knackered. So yeah, you're looking at sort of 3 to 3.5 grand for a used engine. So then I thought, well, I'm going to go onto ASM and have a look, because I've obviously bought a fair few engines off them before. Really good to deal with, really easy. They deliver it as well. And they did have a 2019 Golf R engine on there for £3,200. And that included the turbo as well. So I've bought it, and that's because it's going to be here tomorrow. It's 2019, so it's the later engine code, but I believe, well, I know because I've done the swap before. The only difference is one's got GPF and it's got second set of the Golf R here's got a second set of injectors, whereas the new ones don't. So all I've got to do is swap over the inlet manifold, so that's fine. I'm going to get a 90-day warranty from ASM as well, so any issues in 3 months, then they're going to sort me out, and I know they'll sort the problem out if there is a problem. So it's just peace of mind more than anything, to know that you're buying from somewhere that's just going to look after you if there's ever an issue. So obviously, hopefully it won't be an issue. Now, to remove the engine, the easiest way I find to do it is remove the whole front end, slam panel, radiator, and then just pull the engine forward. So now I'm just going to strip the whole front end, as you can see, headlights as well, remove all that, take the front off, and then you just got much more access to try and take the engine out.
Maddie, you're on camera, look. Say hello.
Just checking your motorbike's here.
No, my motorbike's not there, Poppet. It's at home. Remember?
Actually, look.
It's at home.
And after 2 of my children swung by to say hi, it was to carry on with the front, and now we need to remove the drive shafts, the prop shaft, the exhaust, downpipe, and the subframe. Just lower it just so it's easier to get access. And then once we've done all that, remove the dog bone mount at the bottom, 2 engine mounts, and we can pull the whole thing out. And once the engine's out, front diff needs to be removed so I can take the gearbox off, and we're halfway there. So got the old engine here, and we have the new engine here. And as I mentioned earlier, this one is GPF, petrol particulate filter ready. And what that means is it's got an extra couple of sensors in the wiring loom up here, which would go to the GPF. And it also doesn't have multi-point injection anymore. So we've got our inlet manifold here, look, and we can see there is just a gap. It is now direct injection only. But the good news is I can just take what I need off this engine. We can see here, look, we have our MPI multi-point injector loom here, which goes into the inlet manifold. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap over the whole engine wiring loom, and we're going to swap over the inlet manifold, and obviously everything else that I need to do as well. So got my work cut out, but yeah, let the swap begin. Right, so the place is a bit bigger mess than normal, but I have this engine all stripped down, loads of parts over there, loads of wiring looms, parts absolutely everywhere, inlet manifold, and I've gone ahead and also stripped the other engine down as well, because you don't need to see me do two engines, but I am just going to quickly explain the differences, because one is direct injection, one was multi-point, so the things I've had to change. So this is the new engine, and I've taken the inlet manifold off, and I have already shown you the fact that this inlet manifold doesn't have an injector rail in the top of it where MPI injectors squirt fuel into the inlet manifold, like this one here. Let me just turn it over. So there we can see, look, our additional fuel rail and additional 4 injectors there, squirting fuel in, and you can see the injector just in the top there. So we need that because obviously our Golf ECU is set up for MPI injectors, so we need to swap that over. A few other differences is because we're going from manual to DSG, there is an additional, or I don't know if there's an additional, but there's a coolant pump in a different location. So on the new engine, there's a coolant pump bolted to the block there. You can see the 2 holes where the bracket was. That isn't on the old engine, so I've removed that bracket. But then I do have on the old engine an additional cooler or additional water pump here, whereas you can see on this one I don't. So there's a few things we've got to change over, a few pipes, obviously the whole wiring loom. I have gone ahead and fitted the turbo from the old engine. I was going to use the new turbo, but it is slightly different. There's just different, this connection down here is in a different place on the new one, so there's a few differences. So I thought, look, I'll just fit the old turbo just to keep everything the same as normal. I've removed the GPF, which is this thing down here. So this just bolted to the back of the head, and that went to the exhaust on the new car. I've removed all that, and obviously by removing the wiring loom, I removed the wire that's going to it. I've also had to change the high pressure fuel pump because we have MPI injectors. I haven't actually changed it yet. We have an additional little outlet here from the high pressure fuel pump that goes to the other injectors, whereas the other one, that's just a blank, so I do need to swap that over. What else have we got? And the main injectors as well. So the direct injection injectors, I was unsure if they were going to be the same or not, purely because obviously we got MPI as an additional set, so I wasn't sure if the main injectors on the our original engine are going to be just slightly weaker, and the ones on the Golf R engine, I couldn't really find any definitive answers. I couldn't find any proof that they were the same or they were different. So I have just gone ahead and taken them out, and I'm glad I did because they are different. So that's one out of the newer engine. So that's a DI injector out the newer engine. And actually I'll just take it over to the ones that we will be using. Are they different? I don't want to get them mixed up. Yeah, they are slightly different. Look. So you can see the way they sit is different. There's a longer head on the other one. So I'm glad I did take them over and swap them because they are different. And the only other thing that's different is DSG boxes have a spigot bearing in the end of the crankshaft. I don't need to worry about that because I'm going for a manual option, but if I was going from manual to a DSG, I would need to fit a spigot bearing in the end of the crank there. But otherwise, we are all good and ready to rebuild. I don't think I've forgot anything. I'm actually quite looking forward to clearing all this up once I've swapped everything over. So again, I'm just going to bang it on a nice big time lapse and I'm going to build the new engine back up because I've got MOT, believe it or not, tomorrow. So I've got 24 hours actually until MOT and I haven't even finished building the engine. So I really need to crack on today. Now I actually skipped ahead and I fitted a few more coolant pipes, coolant bottle, connected some pipes, fitted the downpipe on the turbo. I've just done a few more bits. Starter motor's fitted, clutch line's fitted. I've connected all the fuse box up as well. And it's just in preparation to start the car for the first time to make sure everything's good. I have just popped down to Volkswagen and I've bought 4 new spark plugs, oil filter and an air filter as well. So I'm just going to change them because obviously I don't know when or if the spark plugs have ever been changed. So they don't actually look too bad at all. I'll keep them as a spare. Right, I'm just going to plug these last few coil packs in and the cam actuators. And then I'm going to stick some oil in it. And I think we are good just to go for a crank. Well, actually no, I need to fit a battery first and an ECU. Right, so that's plugs done, oil's in, oil filter's on. Can't find any brake fluid at the minute to worry about the clutch, but I'll worry about that afterwards. I have just fitted the ECU and the battery, so now I'm going to go for a test start, and I'm just doing this just to make sure the car, the engine starts, runs okay before I bother putting any of the front end back on and building up everything like that. So let's jump in. I'm going to give it a turnover first with no fuel, and then I'm going to connect the fuel pumps, and then we'll go for a proper start. Oh, I'm literally going to have to climb in here because the door won't open wide enough. And because it's a manual, I've got to put my foot all over in the clutch, which I'm hoping is just going to stick down at this point. No, it doesn't. Right. Let's give it a go. Is that because I've got a flat battery? I do. Right, this jump pack does my head in. It only gives me about 20 seconds to crank it over, so. Sounding good? Can't see anything. That's 1, 2, right. There we go, I can hear fuel coming through now, so I'm just gonna make sure there's no leakages. And there we go, look, another reason how crap it is, goes from 25% to 8% just by turning over. All right, let's go. Might not even work. Oh. Oh, hello. We're alive! Hello. We're alive! Sounds good. No leaks. Sounds alright. Alright. Just going to give it a little blip and then we'll turn it off because there's no coolant. Cool. Right, late last night I put on the slam panel, connected the rad up, started putting coolant in and I ran the car up for 5-6 minutes and then went home. I've now just come in, it's 10 to 8 in the morning, I've got MOT at 10:40, so I've got just under 3 hours to make this a car and present it for test. So I'm gonna stick the time lapse on and I'm just gonna crack on because I don't have any other, 10:40 is my only slot before the weekend. So Hopefully this all goes well and we'll get ready for MOT. So I just found the under tray in the boot and I was just connecting it and see that little bit of damage, nothing major, it's just scuffed, but I wonder, and also you can see a little bit of a dent on the subframe there, so I wonder if that was our point of impact. So the car has hit something here, it's just pushed up and just smacked the face of that sump, cracked it, and all the oil fell out. Now that is the downside to a plastic sump because it would just crack and let all the oil out, whereas a metal one would probably just cave in and not crack. Right, to be fair, I'm smashing it for time. If you can see there, it says 10 past 10. So I've actually got half an hour to, no, 20 minutes to spare. All I really need to do is go for a road test, just to make sure everything's good. Coolant level's good, oil level's good. It drives, I've got up to 4th so far. So let's take it for a little drive. Honestly, coolant is a pain in the arse because it waits like half an hour before it goes, oh no, air pocket. We'll have that. And now my light's on. Right. Good job I had this 20 minutes to spare, innit? It was literally a centimetre under minimum. But hopefully now we are good. I'm going to be always quiet for the first little bit, just to make sure there's no all sounds good. Not pulling, no noises. Engine, gearbox sound good. Just test the brakes. Yeah, brakes are pretty good considering. Little pull. Yeah, all good. It's hot. I've got no aircon. Oh. Oh no. Oh, we've gone into limp mode. Damn it. I wonder what that's for. Sounded like a boost pipe come off, but I'm not 100%. So there you go, there's the beauty of having the OBD11 plugged in all the time. Look, I can just go straight in and see what that, it felt like a misfire. So I'm just gonna have a look. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screen record this and just show you, it'd be easier. So we've obviously got loads of faults because I didn't clear them. But we do have misfire on cylinder 3, misfire on cylinder 2, intermittent, static on cylinder 3, combustion misfire during combined operation detected, fuel pump electrical error in circuit. Now the weird thing is, I turned the car off and on and the misfire went away and then it's fine again. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clear all the faults, and it's 10:32, I've got MOT in 8 minutes, I don't have time to do anything now. So I'm just going to send it to MOT, hope it doesn't have any issues with the EML or emissions, and obviously investigate it when we get back, because there's nothing I can really do at the minute. So I managed to drive down to the test centre absolutely fine, just under a mile. So because I've never erased the codes, all those codes I just read out, they
most of them would have been historic from the previous engine failure. So I don't actually know which one was active for this fault. It just went into limp mode and started misfiring under high boost or high load. So hopefully it's just a coil pack or something like that. But as I said, as soon as I turned the ignition off and on, it went away, and as I said, it drove down to the test centre fine. So hopefully it's okay there, just running on idle, and for the emissions test, we'll get it back. And now we've raised the codes, we'll take it for another road test. Fingers crossed it's okay. Maybe just a coil pack. Luckily, I've got 4 spare. So, right, I've just got back from MOT, and there's some good and some bad news. Bad news is it did fail. Good news is not on what you think it would. So we have a failure sheet here, and as you can see, it says seatbelt webbing significantly weakened, cut from edge greater than 2 mm, offside rear. Advisories on coolant and oil leak. Yes, I mean there's going to be dribs. I've topped up the coolant and had a bit of a brake fluid leak, which I haven't had time to clear off. That's fine. And offside wheel damaged inner edge, suspension pin not resulting in excessive movement though. So really it's just this seatbelt offside rear. So right, okay. I mean, I'm all for failing a car for a safety reason, but to fail a car for that is just quite frankly ridiculous. I mean, that is never gonna break in a million years under load. Yeah, that's just, it's ridiculous. It's an advisory at best. It ain't a fail. That's fine. It's never gonna break. But there we go. Right, I've now got to dismantle the whole rear of the car and find another seat belt just because of that, which I'm not happy about, I'll be honest. Over here though, I do have a Cat B RS3 with a seat belt. Now, I wonder, I should be able to use this. There's no reason why it should be any different whatsoever. It's just an absolute pain in the arse to remove the one from the Golf. It wasn't that bad in the end. I had to take apart the offside rear of the boot trim. Ow! That's why you have LEDs. Ah, proper burnt me hand there. Oh, bloody hurts. Once I'd done that, I managed to squeeze my hands in, burn the hell out of my finger, and undo the bolt to remove the seatbelt. So this is something annoying and interesting. So in the Golf, the seatbelt sits upside down like that. So when we try and do it, don't matter what position you do it in, it doesn't work. In the RS3, it actually sits like that. And if we look, it works fine. No issues at all working that way up. And then turn it upside down, doesn't work. Right, so I've taken the casing off the end of the seat belts and we can see why it's happening. And that's because there's a ball bearing in here, and when the seat belt's the right way up, it rests on this little lever, which then enables you to pull the seat belt out. Now it's hard to show you, but when it's, see that? When it's at the right angle, look, it pulls in that tab, which allows you then to unravel the seat belt. And the thing with the RS3 one is, that ball bearing is on upside down, so it basically just works the opposite way around. Now, here it is here. I've been able to remove it, which is a good sign, because it means I can just swap them over. Put this, or actually I could just turn it upside, no, it wouldn't work, would it? No, I can just take that one off of there and put it onto there. And in theory, it should then work. There's no reason why it shouldn't. However, I have royally cocked up this seat belt. I took off the other end first, not knowing, and it pinged out all this, which is basically just like a pre-tension for the seatbelt. So basically when you put the seatbelt in, it just retracts. That's what that does. It just puts a tension on it so it doesn't sit loose. And there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to call that back up. So this seatbelt's knackered now. Luckily, I do have the near side rear seatbelt. Luckily, they're the same, so I can just go grab that.
But first of all, I'm just going to take this ball bearing off here, which I've already done on this one. It just unclips, just to make sure what I can do can be done. Now it should work this way up. Ah, beautiful. She's going in. So I'm back from MOT, and we now have 12 months MOT. It is all sorted, and as you can probably tell, it's had its first wash since it's been in my possession, and it absolutely looks incredible. It is such a clean car. There's no damage on it, no dents, anything, anywhere. It is immaculate, and I just cannot believe how cheap this car was. Now, I've just had a look back through the invoices. I won the car for £3,300, but including auction fees and VAT, etc., it comes out to just under £4,000. Now, considering it's in the condition it was a really good deal. And I was just totting up how much I've spent on the car, and I've only literally bought an engine. That is it. Bought the engine, fitted the engine, obviously stuff like service bits, MOT, that's just part of the course, obviously having a valet as well. But I've just had to put an engine in it, and the total bill is, well, the engine was £3,000 plus VAT, so it's 3,600, so it's going to be about £7,500 to have this immaculate, yes, cat in, but shouldn't have been, should never write off cars for mechanical damage, it's ridiculous, but it's a really clean car, and even the interior is immaculate. Look at that. So clean for an 10-year-old car. Now you may be thinking, what about the misfire? Now, I took it back to MOT gingerly to have it done, got the MOT, and then on the way back, I tried to replicate the fault. I drove it not quite hard, but I did a couple of hard pulls from low down in third and fourth, all the way to the red line, and it didn't fault at all. And this was yesterday. I then took it to football last night, because I play football on Thursdays. And as you can probably see by the trip, it says 34.1. So I've done 34.1 miles of spirited-ish driving, and it's been absolutely fine, hasn't missed a beat. So Stuart is actually on his way here now. He'll be here in an hour, and the last thing I'm going to do is just take it out with you guys for one last time, just to give it a bit of a boot, and just to make sure that it was just a simple case of blowing the cobwebs off, because it's a 2019 engine, but it could have been sat in storage for 2 years for all I know as well, so, or even longer maybe. So yeah, hopefully all the cobwebs are blown off. We'll take it out for a quick spin now, and then Stuart will be here, as I said, in an hour to collect. And by the way, in those 34.1 miles I've done, it drove flawlessly. Really, really nice. Now, I'm sorry if my camera's really shaky. I don't have a very stable mount to the windscreen apparently. I'm gonna work on that. So that's another 6 miles ticked off, and we're just about to hit 80 degrees oil temperature, so I am gonna go for a nice little third gear pull. Just gonna slow it down. Don't have much space, to be honest. I just literally want to check. Lovely. I'd say it's standard as well. I wouldn't say it's mapped, so that's good. Nothing wrong with a standard Golf R. Right, I got my normal B road just down here, so final test, final hurdle. Drives really nice. All right. Yep, spot on. Good, trying to put maximum load on the engine, so like now look, maximum torque, rev it out, lovely. Gearbox, really nice. And that is all she wrote. Really, really nice car. Stuart, you're very lucky here. So this should be a pretty simple breakdown. Golf and engine. I've had a look, and I didn't even need a battery. Like, that car sat there for a few months and the battery never went flat once. Absolutely amazing. and the price of the Golf, I think I've already said, and the engine was £3,000 plus VAT. So yeah, we have a grand total of, what's that, 7,564. 7,564. Now there obviously was a few bits like service bits, valeting costs, but I'm not going to include those, MOT costs as well. So that absolutely immaculate Golf R, Cat N unfortunately, shouldn't be, with a new engine with 3 months warranty, only £7,500, which is, in my opinion, very good value for money. And because he had a £9,000 budget, he's going to get 1,600 quid in cash near enough back to him. So that'll be a nice little surprise when he gets here, and he will be here in half an hour. So. And Stuart is now back. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
Long time, long time. So first of all, apologies it's taking so many months to get sorted,
worries.
But it has been sorted. Your new Golf R is here with a new engine, and I've said it on camera countless times in this video, it is such a nice car, really nice to drive, and it is now all yours.
It looks amazing.
Obviously, when you last saw it, didn't run, and
No.
it was absolutely minging as well.
Yeah.
I have sorted that. It has been cleaned, and it looks incredible. You've already seen around it, haven't you?
Yeah, it does look amazing.
So, let's just pop the bonnet and show you exactly what I've done. Now, I have told you I've replaced the engine, but I didn't go too much into depth. Annoyingly, I did forget to tell him to clean jet wash the engine bay beforehand, and I couldn't do it afterwards because the car was nice and clean. So it was me out here a couple of hours ago with a rag and some quick detailer, just going over everything. But essentially, I have changed the engine, and that is all I've done. It was as simple as that. It just turned out to be a really nice car, and yeah, I've done just under 50 miles in it. It's been absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's a great looking car.
So when you came,
job.
when you came before, I think we turned it over and it just sounded horrible, didn't it?
Yeah, and then you took some of the top off, didn't you, to have a look?
Yeah, because I had a suspicion that maybe the timing had gone or something along those lines. But after diagnosing all that, checking all the time, and the timing of the old engine was fine. And even the oil had been cleaned. So I think what happened is someone had damaged the sump. It's plastic. It broke. It lost all its oil. They continued driving it, and then it's overheated, and there was no compression on any of the cylinders. But someone had put a new oil pump in it, I think. New sump, put all new oil in it, new oil filter, and then tried to start it, and obviously it was absolutely nowhere. So I did price up the cost of completely rebuilding that engine, but it was going to be more than the price to buy a second-hand engine. So obviously I went with the cheapest option, which was to just to replace it. And the good news is, because I only spent in total £7,500 on the car, you had a £9,000 budget, so I'm going to give you 1,500 quid cash as well.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So it's a really nice car for
and a little bit of money.
£7,500 and a little bit of money to obviously tax and insure it as well. So do you want to have a look around it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Had all the seats steamed as well.
Yeah.
So the interior is now really clean.
It's spotless though, isn't it?
Yeah. Couldn't believe it. So, do you want to start it up?
If we can.
I'll let you do the honours this time.
Thank you. Not bad.
Oh, turn down the music. I was listening to that on the way in. I've taken it out for a drive again this morning. So as I think it says on the trip there, we've done 45 miles.
Yeah, 44 and a half.
There you go. So that's what I've done in it, and it's driven absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Sounds a lot better, doesn't it, than last time? Gearbox is really smooth as well. It's all spot on.
That is lovely. Thank you very much.
No problem. And she is all yours.
Thank you very much, Dean.
No problem at all.
You've done this really well there.
He was just about to drive off, and I just ran in and remembered I never fit the air filter, so I need to go do that before we leave. No, I forgot to fit the air filter. So you're gonna see a bit of live action. Stuart's just jumped in, he's about to leave, and I forgot to say that I parked this here because in the time that he last came, I've managed to actually fully build a one-of-one 3-door RS3 facelift in the last time that he came. But here he is, ready to go. And look, they bought a Mark V red Golf GTI manual as well, so I can see why he wanted a manual red Golf. And there we go, look, Mark V's off. They're keeping the Mark V. They're having the Mark 7. Bye-bye, congratulations, well done. Have a good trip back. And yeah, they're gonna have 2 red Golfs in the family.
Look, he even bought me some beers and the kids some sweets. What a guy. So I'm sure Stuart's going to watch this video back when it goes live, and I just want to say a massive thank you, because it has been like 3 or 4 months since we discussed buying it, me buying it, and then it's kind of just sat in the yard gathering dust while I had other bits on the go. But he was completely understanding the whole time, no pressure whatsoever, and it just couldn't have gone to a better person. So massive thank you to Stuart. Hope you enjoy the Golf, and I hope you have also enjoyed this video, guys. If you want to see another competition like this, I don't know, do let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be on the Audi RS7. Cheers, guys.